than they are at home. Who are they going to turn a blind eye to next? If somebody goes to them, one of those teachers, and says, so-and-so's hurting me, what are they going to say? Oh, don't worry about it? That's my opinion of this. They gave no consoling to me or my family. And when we went in court that day, every one of these teachers went to Neil Erickson's family and showed all of their support, including Mike Egan. Where was our support? Mr. Quino was the only one that sat on our side. So what does that say to me as an employee and to the parents of this district? We're going to support the child molesters? I don't think so, because I'm not going to stop until they are suspended and they're gone.
Yo!
First, I want to read a handout that was given to me as I walked into this building. Pedophile supporters are not welcome in our school, on our school board, period. I say to you, Mr. Mike Egan, did you not support Neil Erickson in the courtroom on Wednesday, July 10th? Were you not sitting on his side? Yes or no, sir?
How about it? We'll take him off the board.
Do I not answer that?
Excuse me.
Again, Mr. Egan, were you not sitting on Neil Erickson's side in support of a child molester July 10th in the courtroom?
I was sitting next to his family.
The family can support the family, Mr. Egan. You are a public official. You are showing support for child molestation in this district. Were you or were you not sitting on his side? Yes or no, sir?
Yes, I was sitting with his family.
Recall!
I would like you to step down. Will you step down from your position on the board?
No, I will not.
You would like to make this work and drag your name through and recall you? Is that what you'd like us to do? We want you to step down. You're not wanted on the board. You supported child molestation.
Yeah! Step down!
I want to remind you, let the people speak, whether you support them or don't support them. I want to remind this group that this board has absolutely no power to remove an elected official from this board.
But we do.
We the people.
We do.
The state has a process in place that you have began. You need to go through that process and let your vote be your voices. To continue asking him to resign is something he now knows that you want him to do. But to continue doing it over and over, eventually I'm going to have to say no more. If I'm not going to let a student of mine continue to get harassed in classroom, I will allow an adult to get harassed here. If you want him to step down, file the petitions and vote him out of office. Okay? Thank you.
We will.
Mrs. Zimmerman, let me turn this back on.
I understand Mrs. Zimmerman is now going to speak for the support of the Janczewski family, and normally we give 2 minutes to talk. We're going to give her extra time since she is representing such a large group.
I was asked to deliver this message from this group, and I want to thank them for trusting me to do so. We will address the teacher issue first. To the letter-writing teachers, we would like to ask, would you have written them if you knew it would cause this much public discourse? The general theme of all but one was that the punishment should be minimal because it was only one child. We say one is too many. To say in their letters that the victim is okay was not for them to say. This was not their child. We all certainly hope and pray that this will not haunt him and that he will move on, but it was not for these teachers who are defending his assailant to even begin to speak or render an opinion on him. From the scathing critique of Judge Baumgartner over the submission of these letters and their mere presence in his courtroom in support, it is clear that neither benefited him in any way. In fact, it may have actually done the reverse and subjected him to the full punishment under the law, which it should have. It doesn't matter that they chose to be present for the family. They chose their friendship over their obligation and what should have been concern for the child. There is a danger in allowing these letters to go unpunished by the district, and the frightening message it sends to students, parents, and the community that we have a few teachers who would minimize a sexual assault of a child. There is no such thing as a consensual relationship with a child, as the rest of our teachers certainly know. These few teachers have embarrassed the other teachers in this district who do not deserve the cloud they have placed over them, both personally and the teaching profession that they love and have dedicated themselves to. We would like to think they feel some level of sorrow for their complete disregard for this family. To Mr. Quina, there is an overwhelming feeling of gratitude for your support of this family, both in your actions since the beginning of this problem, to personally appearing with them in court, and in your continued support in trying to come to a meaningful solution. To law enforcement, please solve this targeted arson. None of us want to live in a community with a person or persons who feel that if they disagree with someone, they have the right to burn their property and risk their lives.
Absolutely.
To Mike Egan, at the last meeting and subsequent news reports, you stated that you have no intention of resigning from this board. Well, you need to. By appearing in court with your family on the side of a teacher admitting to molesting a student, you have caused irreparable damage to both yourself as a credible member of this board, as well as your fellow board members, and most importantly, the West Rancho City School District that you should be representing. Nothing you do or say from this day forward will mean anything to those who are aware of your actions in this manner alone. When this board has to make a decision as to how or if they can take corrective action, you should excuse yourself or stay silent, since one of the most offensive letters was written by your wife.
Hear, hear.
None of these parents would ever allow Amy to teach their child, especially when she teaches psychology and child behavior of all things. Now knowing what her own thought process is. She stated that she felt Neil was a good person who would not even consider lying or being dishonest. He was lying and dishonest every single minute of every day that he was a part of this district. And if lying were his worst offense, none of us would be here. If we have someone teaching these classes and others, we want to be very sure that they believe, even if it's their friend, that the actions of a predator are always wrong without exception. Any extracurricular involvement by those teachers or yourself should cease immediately. If this were any other program or department supporting one who molests a child, you would probably be the first in line to chastise or shut down not only that person, but an entire organization as well. You need to set your ego aside and step down for the good of the district.
Thank you.
And finally, to the Board of Education. With the exception of Mike, we think we know the hearts of the other board members. We feel that you would never support the wrong side of this issue. We are asking the board for the following. 1, encourage Mike Egan to resign. 2, release the teachers who wrote letters of support for a convicted child molester, especially those who asked for a minimal sentence because it was only one child. Or, if this cannot be done, at least written reprimand should be placed in their permanent files with a copy of their letter attached. 3, if the board chooses not to or is unable to release these letter writers, then we are asking for assurance from this board that every parent who requests their child not be placed with these teachers be honored and offered alternative placements. We feel that, and I quote, "Any teacher that can stand beside a child molester should not stand in front of our children." 4, ethics training for all staff in order to make sure they are continually re-educated in what is proper behavior for themselves and to be brought to a better understanding of how to detect unethical behavior in their colleagues. We are asking you 6 board members to do the right thing and honor these requests and protect the children of this district by always putting kids first. Bring confidence to the community and assure them that you will always stand for the students. And when you go into closed session, we ask that Mike be excluded, since he clearly has a serious conflict of interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Mrs. Zimmerman covered a lot of topics, and this board will look seriously at everything she said. Now, I know a lot of you want to know, what our attorneys have said, and we're not going to be able to deliver that to you until we go into closed session and discuss it. But if you have anything else, anyone else would like to address that Mrs. Zimmerman or Mr. and Mrs. Janczewski has not covered, please feel free to come up to the microphone.